I came across a question today in a forum, Facebook group for web developers. And one of the main question was somebody asking about their clients and asking for advice on a client that they have a monthly retainer relationship with, like most of us do, right? And then all the time, this client asks for things like new plugins or new design or tweaks or whatever. And then there's in their situation specifically, they would come to them, they would ask the question, they'd get back to them, say it's going to cost money, and then they'd be like, oh, never mind, we don't want to do that or whatever. So I know that this is a common problem for a lot of developers and agency owners. My name is Mark Joseph Szymanski. This is MJSWP. I like to talk about these types of issues with other developers, agency owners, just people in this space, because we all go through these things, and I just like to learn, try, and share everything I do. In this video, I want to talk to you specifically about how I have had that issue already. Like, again, most of us have, and what I've done to kind of mitigate it in certain cases. I'm going to specifically go over a email script that I've used multiple times, and I don't want you to just use this word for word. You can. I'll link it. It'll be in the link below. You can check it out and copy and paste it, whatever you'd like to do. But I'm just giving you this as an example of something to look at, some things to consider. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to tell you why I put the things in here that I did. And it has been successful. I've sent this to multiple clients that have been in this situation where the expectations were misaligned because I was just a shittier business owner when I got these clients, and now I've like reframed and figured out everything, and I think it'll help you. So let's just dive right into it, because it's going to take a little bit to explain all of this, but I felt this was just the best way. So like I said, everything will be down below. If you want to grab a copy, go through it, just go have at it. I mean, if you don't even want to watch the walkthrough here, it's yours, go take it, it's free. But I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to try to give you some context to surround everything. So client, company name, throw that in there, whatever the company is currently on discontinued, heavily discounted plan that are in server setup with limited features. That most of these things might not be specific to you, so make sure you adjust accordingly. The reason that I put that, though, was to make it sound like, because it was at the time, like, we don't offer that plan anymore. Like, I had clients on like $50 plans. Like, we don't offer that anymore. That's not what our stack is anymore. We've grown exponentially as a business as far as the things that we know, the services that we can provide, the monthly, like everything that we can do monthly, and just all the value we can provide. You are on an old plan. So like, that's just to set the tone right away. It's like not really anybody else is on this, is discontinued, right? We've evolved as a business to better serve our clients and no longer offer that plan to customers. The vast majority of our clients are now on our standard website support plan for $250 a month. I made an entire video on the Find It Tech channel, which that video may end up moving over here, but it doesn't matter. I'll link it in a card up here somewhere, just so you can go see it, because I think people have gotten value from that as well, about the $250 plan that I've came up with. That is my standard website support plan. I don't do like multiple tiers or anything. It's just standard. That is obviously what this script is meant to align with and coincide with. That is where they will be headed after I send them this script and they agree to it. But that is just, as a top line thing there. You'll see what it is because it's all kind of written here. But if you want to get more context, that video is there for you as well. So this plan offers a ton more value than our previous plans did. From our experience, includes all the essentials that a business website needs to provide a great experience to its visitors. Again, I'm going to say what is in the plan, but talk more to the way that I wrote this is talking more to what they stand to gain and why they should want to upgrade, because it's going to make their website faster, more secure, more reliable, like all those types of things, right? Further bit of context, most of the people that I sent this to, either the expectations were misaligned, that was the big other thing, or I was literally improving their stack. Like one client that I sent this to was on a server, small server with other websites on it. One of their literal concerns was that the website was slow, which it objectively was, because the resources were being spread across a few different other things. And I was like, well, yes, you're on that discontinued plan. Let's move you. I mean, it's going to cost more money, sure, but you're going to have a way better experience. Your clients are going to have a way better experience. The whole thing's going to be better. So again, positioning it like that is crucial. All right, so here's a full list of what the plan includes and how you benefit from each service. I'm not going to necessarily go through every one of these. And honestly, to this point, this was a few months ago at this point that I wrote this script. It still applies. And for you, go through this list and do this exercise. Say exactly what they get in every one, like painstakingly detail, okay? If you put 20 things as opposed to 10, I think that you're better off, even if they don't exactly care about every single one. This, I think, is really cool. I think this is a really good value add, benefit to you. The thing that everybody gets tripped up here in this industry is most of the clients do not know nor give a shit about like what an SSL certificate like actually is. Like we need to know, and we need to know to implement it and everything. They just want to care like this second column, like what is the benefit? It's like, this is what we're doing, right? If any one of you or I like went down this column in service, we'd kind of know what this is, or we'd have an idea of like what that entails or what that is technically. They don't. What they care about is the benefit to them. Why are you lumping this column, this row into this plan? And then with all of these is like have that top of mind, like set expectations in these, and also give them what they need to either save them time or save them headache. Like that's the thing that most clients care about. So explain that benefit to them, and potentially even, I'll give you another quick example. Again, just read through these and kind of like form your own thing, because I don't know what you have on your service list. So do what will there, but I'll give you one more example. It's like for accessibility, for instance, right? Just a little accessibility widget. Again, we can have a conversation whether it's good or not, or whatever else you want to like tell me that I should use or whatever. But my point is like the thing I wrote there was your website will have industry-leading accessibility software, so users with disabilities can navigate your website and your business, and your business can avoid legal ramifications. Now, I'm not a lawyer, okay, disclaimer there, but my point is like that, saying something like that to appeal to the idea of, oh, like there's no way most people actually even think that their website needs to be accessible. Obviously, that's our job as well. Build a site with accessibility in mind, but also if you can layer in something like that, that's just another, it's like, icing on the cake, icing on top of the cake, right? So that's something that I would consider. The language that you use in there, always be like appealing to the benefit to them, how it's going to save them time, energy, money, whatever it is. There you go. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. I don't want to spend too much time on that. You probably still have some questions though. So imagine you're the person going through this, and you see all that, and you're like kind of bombarded with all the stuff on there, because you might not have even expressed that to them previously in the other agreement. Maybe you just maybe you're in the situation kind of like I was, where I was like, okay, let's just 5,000 for whatever, like 1,000, 2,000, whatever for a website, and give me $100 a month or $75 a month or whatever. And it was like really kind of wishy-washy, right? You are resetting and realigning these expectations. So when they see that, they're going to be like, wow, it's kind of a lot, and they're probably going to have some questions. So again, this is just an email. You should consider having a conversation with them too. I pretty much did for most of my clients, but the next thing is you are probably going to have some questions. So here are some answers to a few common ones. The other thing too is, I don't care if this is the first person that you're sending this to, you have to make it sound like you've talked to everybody else, okay? And it's not disingenuous. It's just like, this is how I want to run my business, so this is how it's going to go. And if you do, and you have to be comfortable with that. Like some people might drop you because of this, but if you double your prices on half of your clients, you're making the same amount of money with half the amount of time that you're investing, right? So that's the thing. So let's continue then. Okay, so you probably have some questions. Here are some answers to a few common ones. What does the plan not include? Okay, important. What does the plan not include? What is that thing above there not include? Because they're going to think, depending on what their expectations are now, they're gonna make some assumptions. Okay, so the first thing it doesn't include, and again, take this with a grain of salt, do whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you why I chose these things. Any changes to the structure, design, or content of the website, all future changes and additional development will be custom quoted as mini projects. Call them whatever you want. Mini projects is just a nice little name. But the point of that is that I am not touching the website. This $250 a month or whatever number you put on it, with these things in it, $250 attached to specifically these items. The way I've found the best way to do it is, this is for the technical, the $250 a month is an investment in the technical integrity of your website. Okay? You are not, for that, we're not changing colors, we're not changing pictures, we're not changing text, I'm not adding blog posts for you, I'm not doing any of that for you. I'm not saying I won't, I'm saying that that's not what this service is. There is a lot of stuff that goes into making sure your website is fast, secure, usable for your clients, accessible, all those types of things. Those and update and everything like that. That is a monthly recurring cost and a monthly recurring service that does not include the other thing. And if you include the other thing, I have only seen it get messy and convoluted so quickly. So that is why you do not see anything in there like half an hour or 30 minutes of updates or content updates or whatever. Even if you have a time limit, like it's still going to get confusing. It's going to be more things for you to manage. I really wouldn't recommend it. If you don't feel comfortable charging $250 a month for none of that, with none of that built in, then don't. But I'm telling you, I really wouldn't mix the two. Have another add-on service or something that is separate, because that is definitely the way to go. Still not exactly the way that I do it, but I'll explain what I mean. So those are the many projects. That's all custom quoted. It's literally like you come to me or I come to you and say, hey, this website could really use X, Y, and Z. Let's quote that out. Here it's $800, $1,200, whatever. Let's get the payment and then do it. Like, it's not like that. Okay. So setting that expectation that you are not going to ask me for things every month for that money. It's not what that is. It's not what the service is. Okay. Next thing is domain names fees. I say don't let anyone own or pay for your business domain name. It's a dangerous game. It's personal belief. I don't do that. I don't ever pay for anybody's domains other than the ones I own. I can control them, like I can manage them and manage the name servers, put them on Cloudflare or whatever. But I would never recommend holding your domain names, paying and owning the domain names of your clients. We can have another chat about that. But again, the expectation of this video to stay in the frame of what this is. That's not included in there. So we're not paying for domain names like they're paying for that. Just, again, managing expectations of what they're paying. Site-specific paid software. For example, if you want to add a plugin to your website that we can't buy a multi-pack of licenses for to use for other clients, you'll have to pay for that directly. So if it's a real estate agency or real estate agent and they want to have a plugin on there for IDX integration or something like that and it costs $200 a month, I'm not paying for that. That's not coming out of that money. You're paying for that directly. We will implement it for you or we'll facilitate it or whatever, but we're not paying for that. Very important note if you haven't ever said that to them. Next thing is why doesn't the plan include updates to structure, design, or content of the website? Like I said, this is honestly one of the most key things, because they are going to ask you that question. If they read this email, this is going to help start the conversation there off on the right foot. Even though this plan doesn't include it, we are more than happy to make updates to the structure, design, or content of the website. We offer this standard support plan without any of those types of updates because including them creates confusion and unfair service agreements for both parties. I'll speak to that in a second. A much better solution is to treat those requests as mini projects and bill them on a one-time fixed cost. If you have done that in the past, I guarantee you have had problems. I guarantee you. It may not have been like terrible problems depending on the type of person you are, the way you work, the clients you've had, but every single time I've done that, it's created a problem. I've done in the short, like less than 5 years of me doing this, I have done things where I say, okay, I'll build the site for just a monthly fee and nothing up front, like $500 a month. I mean, you can imagine how quickly that gets out of hand because you have no scope of anything. Doing the thing every month. Think about this too, okay? Think about if you bought something, and think about I'm gonna use an interesting example here real quick because I'm just thinking about it. Think about back in the day when you had to buy minutes for your cell phone, and like companies were like, oh, these minutes roll over, these minutes don't roll over. Why as a consumer, as a consumer of your website service, right? Your client, why would your client like the idea of, oh, I get with this $250 a month plan or whatever, I get 30 minutes of content updates from, my developer. Like, that's not, there are going to be some months where they win and there's some months when they lose on that deal. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing these things where it's like, oh, you don't use it, you lose it. And then it's just, now you're creating more work for yourself. They might not have many requests to fill in there. It's so confusing. It's so convoluted. It's so messy. I hate it. Just have them pay for what they use, which is, in this case, the technical integrity of the website. They're going to have all that stuff on there. You're going to be updating the website. They're going to, all the security is like getting used and everything like that. Like the hosting's getting used. Don't make them pay for things that they don't have to pay for. Why would you lump that stuff in? I really don't understand it. So every single time I either had way more work and I mismanaged the expectations and they made me do more work than I wanted to, which again was my fault, or they get upset at some point and they're like, hey, we're not using that 30 minutes. We're not using that hour. We haven't used it in a year. Can we lower this fee? And it's like, well, now you're screwed as well. There's no good way to do that, man. I'm telling you, do whatever you want. If you can figure out how to make it work, then you tell me and I'll be happy for you. But it's just, that's an important paragraph right there. Setting that expectation, understanding that, and explaining why. based on your past experience, why that doesn't work. Okay. What are our options if we want to make updates to the structure, design, or content of the website? Another big question, okay? And I hear a lot of different schools of thought on this, and I'm sticking to the way that I think about this for now because I still think it's the right way. For managing certain types of content and store management, you or a member of your team could absolutely do it yourself using guided tutorials from us if you'd like. And I would honestly recommend that. I don't actually even like the way I worded that, like precisely. Let me give you some more context so you can word it even better. There is zero way that you could manage a store for somebody that has an e-commerce site. Like, how could you expect to do that especially if you're a solopreneur? Maybe if you had like somebody on your team that was specific for managing websites of your clients, like the actual content, maybe you could do it. If somebody out there is doing that, again, prove me wrong, that's fine. I'm not saying you actually can't do it, but like, why would you want to do that? That sounds like a goddamn nightmare to me. So consider training your clients to do this simple stuff, okay? Like adding new blog posts, adding new resources, adding new whatever. And I'm not saying like going into Elementor or going into Bricks or going to Divi and like moving stuff around and duplicating containers. I'm saying set up ACF or set up Jet Engine to simply click add new, type in a title, paste in some text, add a featured image. It's not difficult. They can do it, and it's way faster if their team does it than if you do it. And then now you get rid of all these little stupid tasks that they might ask you to do. You keep the technical integrity piece, and then anything that they want to do that is like bettering their, like actually growing their website rather than just adding and playing around with content, you can actually step in there and be like, hey, I think this, and this would be really good for you guys. Here's a quote for how much that'll cost. What do you think? Or they can ask you, or they can give you ideas. It's worked for me. That's all I'm going to say. So my point is, I would recommend you have them manage the simple standard content things so that they understand that and they understand kind of like how that goes, and they can manage that better. Also managing like users of the website, if it's like an e-com, like there's a lot of training that you have to do, but it's way better if they handle that because it's their business, not yours. You are to support them in that regard, not like actually manage that. That's like way deeper into the business than you want to go. Different schools of thought on that. I'd love to have a conversation with other people, but that's what I think. Okay. So for updates to the menus, building out new pages, changing copy, modifying design layout, etc., the process is you submit a list of the tasks to us. We strongly recommend batching requests, not just submitting a one-off small task. And the reason is because if you ask for like 1 task, 2 tasks, 3 tasks, or whatever, then how are we going to like price that? I mean, I have to charge for it. It's my policy. But like, how am I going to do a smaller one? So it's better if there's like a bigger project. And I'll give you one quick pro tip here. I've had people come to me already and they say, hey, can we add 2 things to our page here or whatever, this layout or whatever? Take that as an opportunity to upsell them and give them 3 more ideas that they hadn't thought of that are actually important and impactful to that website, and then quote them on all 5 of them rather than the first 2. You're going to make more money, you're going to have a bigger impact on their business, and they're actually going to be really, really impressed and happy that you were proactive in helping them. There's a pro tip. Okay, the next thing is step number 2 here is we'll give you a quote for the price and the timeline to complete the task. Important, give them that information. Do it as quickly as possible too, if you can. And then you confirm that. They confirm it and they get to work and we get to work. And I would also say they're already your client. They already know you, like you, trust you. Get the payment right there. I don't know where I wrote that. I think I put it at the end. No, take the payment right away. Take the payment as soon as you confirm the quote. Get them to confirm it. I'm sorry about the mistake here because it's in step 6. Have them confirm the quote. Get the payment, then get to work. Okay, because just get the money and then do the project. And then the only argument to not doing that is if you take the payment at the end, then you have a clear line in the sand when it's over. But the thing is, the quote needs to be good. There needs to be a good scope on that quote. And you literally need to write out like exactly what you're going to do, because the problem that you can get yourself back into unknowingly is like, oh, we had these 5 things. Can you add this 6th one on there? Don't let it happen. Like, do your absolute best to manage that expectation, not let that happen. The project is the project. The scope is the scope. Don't let it happen. That's all I can say there. It's filling out. This is not like a one, I'm trying to make it as black and white as I can, but it's not perfect in that regard. So, consider that. Okay. As we move through the task, you can track your progress, and we say in our Find It Tech portal. If you have something like that, cool. If you don't, just update them. Okay. Once you've completed the task, we'll notify you to review. Once you approve, we get billed. You can do it either way. Like I said, I really just think taking the payment up front is the better route there. Okay, and then we go down to our next piece here. Do you offer additional services? A great way to explain to them, now that you are more professional, refined, and you have your service offering down, and you're pitching them on something like this. Explain what you do. For us, web development. We build new websites, redesign websites, add new features to existing websites, website support, hosting, securing, monitoring, maintaining websites, the standardized monthly plan here that we have, website growth. So actively increasing website traffic and business revenue via SEO, conversion rate optimization, paid advertising, and or content creation. Customized plans starting at whatever, if you want to do that, right? So that's all like really important stuff that I think you should list if you were going to, if you're going to make this push here, and you're going to say all these different things that you're going to do, and the specific, for the website support, website care plan, whatever you call it, express to them these, it's more defining of what you're doing, right? I think it's important. I think they'll appreciate that. Okay, almost done. Why do your clients, this is another big social proof one, okay? Why do your other clients like this website support plan? Think about the very small nuance between why, saying it like that and saying it what are the benefits? It's you, again, acting like you've said this to 100 people already and you've gotten all this feedback, because this is legitimate feedback that they are going to have. They appreciate the concept of only paying for what they actually use and benefit from. They love the precise clarity about what is and what is not included. They like having full peace of mind knowing that their website will always be online and their customers will always have a safe and speedy experience. They enjoy having direct access to us in the event anything ever does go wrong, or if they have any questions about how to manage their content or their store, blogs, products, etc. Those 4 lines right there really tie the freaking bow on this thing and are well, that makes total sense. They already probably feeling that a little bit, but it's oh, that's why everybody likes this. That makes total sense. And it's it's a no-brainer at that point. Seriously. So really, I just really think you should have something like that in there. Experiment with other stuff. Go crazy there as well. All right, what are the next steps? Give them some action items. Tell them exactly what you want from them as far as moving forward here. Hopefully they made their decision throughout reading all that. We'll send you an updated website support agreement to sign. We'll update your billing, at whatever, starting next payment date. We'll set up and configure any new services to make the website faster and more secure for your customers. I gotta be honest. I think if you send this to anybody and you fill in the blanks with the things that you actually have and you're confident about that, I don't know why anybody wouldn't up their service or at least realign their expectations with what you want them to do. Seriously, I don't understand. I've done this for multiple clients. Every single one of them, it was a positive experience. So hopefully it is with you as well. Last little bit there. This new and just again reinforcing this new and much improved website support plan has resulted in a better working relationship with every client we have. If you're on board with this, we can start the next steps right away. Let me know what you think. That's all I got. I hope that you guys can go grab this in the link down below, copy, paste it, doctor it up, whatever you need, adapt it to your business. And I really hope that this changes the trajectory for you guys with these, the clients that you have just, again, it happens to all of us. Throughout the journey, initially, we mismanage expectations, or we just have clients that we're friends at one point, and then we gave them deals and stuff like that. Whatever the situation is, this is, I hope and I trust that this is going to push you at least in that right direction. One of two things, like I said, is going to happen. You're going to send this out to all your clients, and either all of them are going to say, oh, that makes total sense, let's go forward, or whatever, let's move forward with that. And you're honestly, depending on where you're at, you're going to be making more revenue and doing less work, less active work, right? Or if that doesn't happen, then you might lose some, but overall, I'm sure that you're ultimately at least going to break even, and you're going to be doing less work. This is just, I really just feel strongly about this. And it's not about doing less work. It's about providing more clarity and providing ultimately a better service, so you can free up more of your time to actually help them. If you couple this with a proactive approach with your clients to actually nurture and help their business, it's game over. You're just not going to be, I've literally seen it myself. I've seen it with other businesses. You're not going to be worried about anything, because every single step action that you take for your clients is going to be proactive for them, helping them. You're not going to dread getting emails from them because it's like, oh, this is another thing I need to do for free. Imagine how bad that, that mentally, obviously you feel terrible. And then like, it's like that creates like weird resentment. Made a whole nother video on that. So I don't know. I'm going to stop talking. It's been a long one. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, thank you so much. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. Go grab this thing and, hopefully improve a lot of your client relationships. So thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll talk to you in the next one.